everybody. My name is Liz. Or Bing Hong Yung Go Jafana, Guyutan Tai Hong Ya, Basing Pasha, Isaina, Hyung Babena, Yukia, Mushoge, May Sha, Nutuan, Sinhona, who Eastside, Blue District, your House District 67A, Sakoni, Shadow, Dong Beta, Hanigo, Besa, Baushe, the issue, care about like the issue of choosing Indonesia now young ya Tesaba Bay Jenny Mongya Shaisana Ming Fluency. For folks who don't speak Hmong that well, again, my name is Liz. Check us out at lizlee.org and looking forward to meeting everyone on the east side.
Announcing the Pagat campaign run for Minnesota Senate District 67A, Sha East Side, Naya Gubin Sai, Gojo Pali, Guayo, Shonta, you are Lamu, Kia, to 67A seat, Tashina, Tato, Representative John Thompson. Who the share the bay each on the job among the shot east side, New York, parts of the Banya, but sure the look of eating, not to show up all of them, more young, what John Dow.
Thank you guys all for being here today. My name is Ashley Yang and I'll be today's MC. I have seen Liz grow from a classmate into a teammate and into the leader that she is today, so it is my honor to be today's MC. We'll go ahead and get started with the programming. I would like to first introduce the parents of Liz Lee, Chow and Tao Lee. They both are community leaders and have lived in the east side here for over 2 decades. So let's give a warm welcome to Chow and Tao Lee.
Thank you, Ashley. Good afternoon, families and friends. My name is Charlie, and I am Liz's father. Thank you for gathering here to support our daughter, Liz. Before I introduce her, I want to tell you 3 reasons why I believe she's the best qualified person to represent the east side of St. Paul. She understands the east side. Her strong work ethic and desire to help the community, and her experience with politics and public policy. The East Side is a diverse community, one that can't be easily categorized into white, black, or brown community. Each segment of the community has complex needs and expectations, one that are best understood by the person who has deep roots here. And that's Liz. She was raised by a diverse East Side community and knows its people here. So I believe Liz will be able to bring a community together as a whole, despite our differences. Using her deep knowledge of a community as a native daughter of the East Side, I believe she can unite us and lead us out of this pandemic and into the future, which leads to my second point, why she is best qualified to represent Senate District 67A. As a parent, I know Liz has always been a hard-working person. I can tell you that from kindergarten through middle school, high school, college, and beyond. She worked hard to earn her admission to Yale University, so she could gain the skills to one day she can come back and contribute back to her community here. You might think that I'm telling you that my daughter went to an Ivy League school because I just want to brag about my parenting skills. But really, that's I'll be able to tell you how hard Liz works to achieve her goals and the mindsets that she will bring to the Minnesota House of Representatives. Coming out of a hardworking class family on the East Side, earning admission to Yale wasn't easy or guaranteed by any means. It was a very competitive and hard process. But her strong work ethic showed through in every step of the way, to the Ivy League school and beyond. If elected next year, she will show the same dedication in advocating for all Eastsiders. And finally, Liz has the experience necessary to represent the East Side. After graduating from Yale in 2011, Liz went to Washington, D.C. to work for our senior United States Senator Amy Klobuchar, followed by Congressman Keith Ellison, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and lastly, Congresswoman Bonnie Batson Coleman. 10 years working for members of Congress gave her all the skills and experience she needs to represent the East Side of St. Paul. She understands how politics works. She understands public policy. She knows what public service and constituent service are all about. Most importantly, she can leverage this knowledge and experience to represent the East Side and our diverse communities here in the Minnesota State Capitol. She believes, and I agree, that it's time to transform those skills and experience to deliver public service to the East Side at the Minnesota State Capitol. If elected next year, she will be ready to work on day one with the East Side delegation, the entire St. Paul delegation, and Governor Walz. She will be a good public servant to unite our community, to improve our quality of life, and above all, to make our East Side a better place. She will be a change maker and a uniter. Now let me present to you my daughter, Gajopa Elizabeth Lee.
Thank you so much, Mom and Dad, for everything you've given me and all of our siblings. We are so grateful to have you as our parents. And all of my gratitude to Ashley for agreeing to MC the event tonight. Also thanks to the volunteer crew, Mitchell, Adam, Sarah, and Eddie for doing tech. But yes, I want to especially thank Ashley for always believing me and recruiting me to be part of your softball team. So yeah, the reason why we're here tonight is because all of my siblings and I grew up playing softball at Hayden Heights. But I would also wanted to acknowledge before we continue that, that Hayden Heights is also land where the Dakota people used to live, and this will be important later. I also want to acknowledge that, today we're gathered here outdoors in less than ideal circumstances because the East Side, like many communities across the country and the world, are still in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so, that's why we have hand sanitizer, masks if folks need it, etc. I'm really grateful to have friends and family members here, despite all of the risks that you're taking. I am very, very grateful for that. And I want to start with these, acknowledgments because, they show that we are at an inflection point here at the East Side, right? Next year in 2022, Eastsiders have a big decision to make. Who you pick to represent House District 67A will determine the direction of our community as we rebuild from the pandemic. But to know where we're going, we need to know where we come from. So, every community that has lived on this land has contributed to it, right? From the Dakota people to the Swedish, Polish, and Mexican immigrants, to the Hmong, the Karen, the Somalis, Americans, and our neighbors from South and Central America. Each of these communities have had hard decisions to make, and every decision made has helped enrich the East Side and build the community that we have today. Every decision we make moving forward will help determine the future of the East Side for our children and grandchildren. thank you so much to the little ones holding the signs tonight. You guys are doing a great job. And I say this, and talk about the history of the East Side because for me, to get to where I am today, all of the ancestors who came before me had to make really hard decisions and sacrifices. So, I say, I'm a daughter of the East Side, but my story begins when both my grandfathers made the impossible decision to leave home in Laos and take their families to safety in Thailand, where my parents first met. And after their families separately relocated to the United States, they found each other because of my dad's will and got married in Minnesota. And when they started out their life, we lived in public housing while my dad was going to school, but when they were ready to rent and then to buy, my parents found it extremely difficult to find renters and realtors willing to show them houses that they wanted to see. So, my parents searched and they made the most of their decision, and luckily we found the home that we still live in today on the East Side, just a couple blocks from here. And around the same time, when we became residents of the East Side, I actually tagged along with my dad to an event with then Mayor Norm Coleman as he touted the urban renewal project that turned the abandoned Phelan Shopping Center into the wetland that it is today, with adjacent businesses and housing developments. People who haven't lived here may not remember that, and I remember that as an 8-year-old. I share these stories because neither of my grandpas knew what their decisions and where they would where their decisions would take their grandkids, to the East Side like this. And none of the community leaders who decided to clean up the shopping center and devote millions of dollars to that to grow Phelan Village would see in 20 years. But everyone made these decisions with the intention and hope of making things better. So next year, you, the voters of the East Side, have the power to decide which direction you want to take the community. What kind of world do we want to build for our children and grandchildren and the generations to come? What do we want the East Side to look like in 10 years, 20 years? Will Phelan Lake still be here in 10 years or 20 years? We may not know what the future will look like, but the best we can do is make decisions with compassion and care. And this is why I come before you today to announce that I am a candidate to represent Minnesota House District 67A. Woo! My fellow neighbors, I promise to work hard and dream big with you. Together, we can reimagine the world we want to see after this pandemic and build a vibrant community that works for everyone. This means, that's right, birds, reinvesting in our students and teachers to address the major disparities among students and who have so much unfinished learning from the past school year. And it means no student goes hungry, and we have safe and affordable and accessible childcare. It also means rebuilding the community so we can increase our affordable housing stock and revitalizing the East Side so that we can have good paying jobs close to home. And also good roads for people and public transit, because we know not everyone has a car, but you need that to get to your job in Minnesota. I've spent the last decade advocating for issues like health equity, bridging the academic achievement gap, increasing affordable housing, and reinvesting in public transit. I know how to design policies to help people, and as a daughter of the East Side, I'm passionate about making our community a safe place to grow for families and small businesses. So, I thank you for being here, and I look forward to building with all of you guys. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, can we give another hand of applause for Liz? How exciting. Before I close out, I just want to remind folks that today is National Voter Registration Day, so please go to iwillvote.org to make a plan to vote. Don't forget. If you would like to support Liz Lee or like more information about Liz Lee, you can check out her website at lizlee.org or her Facebook, Liz Lee for the East Side is what her Facebook page is. So if you guys would like to know more about Liz Lee, ask her some questions, pick at her brain, see what she's gonna be doing for us, then go ahead and check out her social media. That's it for today. Thank you guys all for being here today.
Thank you. Woo.